bestseller.
I'm feeling really, really good. We are currently streaming on YouTube, y'all. Currently streaming on YouTube. Make sure you go over to YouTube, youtube.com/Clay Kane Show, and check us out over on the good YouTube. We're here, we're here, we're here. Do want to say that my new book, Burn Down Master's House, a novel, it drops in January. But if you want to get a pre-ordered sign, if you want to pre-order the book, a signed copy of it, Stram Books in New York City, they are doing an exclusive limited time pre-order for the first 1,000 copies. So you can go to strambooks.com, put in Clay Kane, and you'll see Burn Down Master's House there. And you just click on Burn Down Master's House, click on the signed option, and you can pre-order a signed copy, and they'll mail it out to you in January. Wherever you are in the domestic United States, wherever you are, they'll mail it out to you. So if you want to get that signed copy of the book, pick it up. All right, so
Oh wait, we
wanna
have to remind people that we're on tour.
we're on tour beyond the mic. I'm so sorry. We're on tour. We're going to be in Chicago August 23rd, already sold out. We're also going to be in Philadelphia September 13th. You can still get tickets for that at the Community College of Philadelphia, a school that I once attended back in the 1900s. And we're also
Not
going to be in
1900s,
Houston,
Clay.
Texas. I know, right? Houston, Texas, October 11th, 3 days before Reecie Colbert's birthday. So make sure you get your tickets for that. Go to clayandreecylive.eventbrite.com, clayandreecylive.eventbrite.com. That is the only place where you can get tickets. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be fun. We really bring out people. It's a sense of community. We have some surprise guests, and it's going to be joy. So we're super, super excited for that.
And we do a meet and greet at no extra charge where we take
Yes, we
pictures,
do.
sign stuff. All you got to do is wait in line. That's the only requirement. Not extra money, just waiting in line. The line can be a little long, but we
Right.
wait and we take as many pictures as it takes to get to everybody. So that's
Yeah,
a
we
key
stay out
point.
here. We stay out here on these streets engaged in community. We're not just on the radio, or we go out on these
Or,
streets and engage and get.
internet people, some people they ain't got the memo yet
Right.
after years and years and
Exactly.
years that
Yeah. So it's
we
all good.
outside. Mhm.
But I do want to say this. On this day, 10 years ago, the United States Supreme Court ruled that same sex marriage was legal.
Mm.
In Obergefell versus Hodges,
Mm-hmm.
they said that same sex marriage was a constitutional right. Now, there were all that I could have said. I'm sorry if I said his name wrong. Obergefell, forgive me. I should know it. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. When this was happening, the debate over same sex marriage, and for a lot of people, they think it just started in the 2000s. It
Mm-hmm.
began decades ago. You
Mm.
already had
Mm-hmm.
same sex couples who were suing because they felt they should have the same rights as their as straight couples, and there was only civil unions. And I'll never forget, many years ago, I knew of a couple at a job that I worked at, and one of them passed away, and they
Mm-hmm.
had owned their own business together, and they had a civil union. And the person who passed away had been estranged from his family for about 20 years. The
Mm.
family came in when he passed away and took everything.
Mm. Mm-mm.
And there was a fundraiser for this guy because he basically had nothing. There was a lot of legal things that went down, but it really was important. I've always said a marriage is a contract between
Mm-hmm.
two people. It's a
Mm-hmm.
government
Mm-hmm.
contract. And all these people said that same sex marriage would destroy this country.
Yeah, I
Speaker Mike
remember people
Johnson,
saying that.
Speaker Mike Johnson, the current Speaker of the House,
Mm-hmm.
famously said in an op ed that same sex marriage was the dark harbinger of chaos and sexual anarchy that could doom even the strongest republic. The dark harbinger could doom even the strongest republic. I do want to
Mm-mm.
point out that he was one of the architects of trying to overthrow the 2020 election, talking
Yes.
about a strong. Thankfully, we had a strong enough republic that included same sex marriage that our republic wasn't overturned.
Mm.
Thankfully, thankfully
Mm-mm.
for that. But I do want to say for folks who, care about the economy and they mention the economy often, same sex marriage has been a boom to the economy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really helped the economy. According to where is this? I want to make sure I have this right. Let me just pull this up right here. I want to give in case folks want to jump in and babble about how allegedly it's hurt the economy. But it's brought in. Let's see here. Gosh, I don't have the data right in front of me. I thought that I had it. Let me see here. It's brought in. I wanted to read it out loud to make sure that I had all of it. Sorry about that. Well, it's been a big boom to the economy,
Yeah.
and it's helped the economy, and it's increased jobs and helped state and local taxes. It's been huge, and it's been important.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, we're in a space right now where people want to overturn same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
They want to overturn people minding their business and building a family, and that's pretty despicable to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republicans who've supported same-sex marriage, it was around 51%, and
Okay.
recently it went down to 41%.
It went down.
It went
What
down,
the
the
hell?
support of it, yeah. So, yeah, just want to point out
What is
10
wrong
years
with
ago,
people?
people, hey, and there's been talks from conservatives that they want to bring this to the Supreme Court.
Mm.
Bring this
Hmm.
to the Supreme Court and say, hey, uh, we believe that marriage should go back to the states.
Back to the
Should go.
States. Wow. Wow.
That's the argument, that it
Mm.
should go back to the states.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. So that's where we are, and I just wanted folks to know that. Oh, I have the data from the UCLA School of Law Williams Institute that over the past 10 years, over 22 million people, 22 million guests have attended same-sex weddings, uh, folks out of town and all that good stuff. So they estimated that wedding expenses by same-sex couples have boosted state and local economies by 5.9 billion and generated over 432 million in state and local taxes. The spending was enough to support 41,300 jobs for 1 year.
Mm.
So it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
anarchy. All things didn't fall apart. It actually helped the country.
Yeah.
So congrats to all the folks who can get married and have protections and live their own life, and not have their lives policed, or they're worried about their relationship being policed. And also,
Mm-hmm.
same-sex couples have a lower divorce rate than heterosexual couples.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? So yeah, just wanted to point it out. Just want to point out 10 years ago today, only 10 years. 10 years
Mm.
ago today, and folks want to go backwards. I guess that's the conservative movement. They want to conserve
Yeah.
what once was. Yeah.
Oh, except for preserving human life that,
Oh
is
well.
made possible by having health insurance, by having quality
Yeah.
health insurance, that's made possible by having a roof over your head, by having food on the table, by being able to make a living wage, by being able to exist on a planet that's not being destroyed by climate change.
hmm
Yeah,
hmm
we don't need to preserve any of those things.
But the fact that we have the current Speaker of the House who wrote something so ridiculous, so inflammatory, full with fear mongering, and who was also an election denier, uh, man,
Well, that's how he got there, by being that cray cray.
yeah,
Because that's what the
yeah,
Republicans wanted. Because they kicked
yeah,
out shit, now it's McCarthy. McCarthy wasn't
yeah,
no flaming liberal. I mean, he was cray cray too, but he just wasn't that
right,
damn crazy. This is
right,
what Republicans want. I saw not on this same topic, but the Supreme Court today has ruled that South Carolina can withhold funding, uh, Medicaid funding from Planned Parenthood providers. Now, Planned Parenthood provides exponentially more non-abortion care than they do
yeah,
abortion care. And so at a time when the Republicans are going to cut around 16 million people from getting health care, the Senate Republicans want to cut more. Okay. But
mhm,
right now, the number is floating around 16 million between Medicaid cuts and Obamacare cuts. It's going to cost you more to keep the insurance that you have, too, by the way, thanks to this Republican bill. But the Supreme Court is saying that now it is okay for states like South Carolina to carve out the kind of medical providers that will be allowed to service patients because essentially if those medical providers can't be reimbursed because they're at Planned Parenthood, then they will not provide the services to those patients. And in a lot of communities, Planned Parenthood is the sole medical provider in that community. So this is going back to what you said about preserving a certain kind of life. This Republican administration, the Republican courts have been on a full scale assault against the quality of life for Americans. Full scale. And 2 days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, it was the anniversary of Roe v. Wade being overturned.
Yep.
Life
Yep.
as we've known it, the rights as we've known it, the safety net as we've known it are under assault right now by Republicans, and they're winning. It's not just like, oh, we're having this existential battle and we're having a philosophical debate like on the Democratic side. Okay, the debate is about free healthcare versus single versus public option. No, we're talking about a radical remaking of our society right now that's happening. Project 2025, I keep reminding people, according
Mm.
to Project 2025 Observer, it's 42%. Now, I haven't checked it in the past couple days. It might be at 43%.
Mm.
But we're seeing Project 2025 on steroids right now. Every single aspect. We talked about the education department before a couple weeks back. We talked about HUD, I think last week. You know, we could keep going. That's not even talking about the international upheaval. We haven't even talked about tariffs in a while, which the Fed chairman Jerome Powell is saying like, we haven't felt the effects yet, but it's coming. So there's a lot that's happening right now. And as much as Republicans talk about preserving a certain way of life, they are radically remaking American life. And it's not going to hit people until it hits them like a ton of bricks because all of the evidence, all of the march towards that is right there. And people are still like, they're not woke. They sleep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go to a call here. Let's go to Caroline or Carolyn from North Carolina.
Yes. Good afternoon, Clay and Reese. How
Hi.
are you?
Doing good.
Hi.
Doing good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. My comment is about the age, okay, and older people don't vote. Let me just tell you a short story. My mother took us to vote every single year that I can remember. But not knowing anything about politics, what I do remember was when Barry Goldwater was running.
Mm.
And even though I had no idea, I think I was like 11 or 12 years old, but what I did know, that all the adults were frightened.
Mm.
And they talked about this election, and they talked about things that was going to happen. And as a kid, I always listened to adults, and I was frightened. I was so
Mm.
happy, not knowing a damn thing about politics, but I was so happy that he didn't win. So I
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
say this. In high school, at 18 years old, they came around and said 18-year-olds can vote, and they brought the voters' registration forms into the
Yeah.
classroom. And we
Mm-hmm.
signed it, okay? At 18 years old, I'm over 65. I've
Mm.
been voting every single year since then.
Mm.
I didn't always vote in the primaries because I wasn't aware of that. But
Yeah.
when I did find out about that over close to like 30 years ago, I
Mm-hmm.
started voting in the primaries as well. I've done marches in New York. I was raised in Brooklyn and proud of it. I live in North Carolina right now. But I can tell you, when Eric Adams was running, I put a Facebook out to my friends and said, listen, I don't live there no more, but you will be making a huge mistake if you vote for this man. And that's
Mm.
my comment to people who think that older people don't vote. We are out there,
Mm.
and they need to kind of listen to us and vote their conscience and stop voting against their well-being. And I thank you for taking my
Absolutely.
call.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's go to Buck from Michigan, first time caller. What's up, Buck?
Hey, what's going on? Listen to you guys for the first time. I'm listening to you guys for the first time. I wanted to say this. The biggest detriment to all voters, no matter what your race is the Democrat and Republican Party. And the reason I say that, for black voters, the Democratic Party, they tell you don't even listen to the Republicans. So what they're really telling you is don't make an educated vote. only way you can make an educated vote is you listen to both sides, you understand their policies, and you make a decision that's best for your family, your household, not race, not your community, for your
Wait,
household.
Buck,
That's what
I'm a little bit confused. I want to understand your point. You said the biggest problem with voting is the Democrat and the Republican Party. Is that what you said?
That's what he
detriment, the
said.
biggest
Hmm.
Detriment.
detriment to voters, the detriment is the Republican and the Democrat Party. Reason is they do not promote educated voting. They tell you no.
I do have to hold on, wait 1 second, because he said that Democrats tell you not to listen to Republicans. Democrats spent all of the last election saying read Project 2025, which is being implemented. I just said that 5 seconds ago, which is being implemented through every aspect of the federal government. And so the problem is that people don't actually listen to what Republicans are saying, hold them to account for what they're saying, or hold them to account for their policies. Democrats absolutely do not tell people not to listen to it. In fact, the entire time, Democrats are being gaslit by Republicans denying that Project 2025 was their plan, when in fact that is the plan they're implementing right now.
Buck, are you saying that there's no difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party?
For those that really know, there is no difference. But what I'm trying to
Let me ask you. Do you think that Vice President Kamala Harris would have fired 300 FAA workers? Do you think Vice President Kamala Harris would have done that?
man, so you're taking it out of context.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You're saying there's no difference. So I'm asking you a question. Let's have a conversation here. You're saying there's no difference, and you're putting it all in the same category. So I'm asking you, do you think that Vice President Kamala Harris would have fired 300 FAA workers? If you don't like that question, do you think Vice President Kamala Harris would have restored the names of Confederates on naval bases? Do you think Vice President Kamala Harris would have done that?
Dude, this is so uneducational.
No, it's not.
Right
no,
now.
sir. I'm asking you a question. Can you answer? Do you think Vice President Kamala Harris would have done that?
I think she would. I don't think she would have did none of that. Of course.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, fair enough. So now we have a evidence. You agree that they aren't exact on one point. Do you think Vice President Kamala Harris would have wanted to kick 11 million people off of Medicaid? Do you think Vice President Kamala Harris would have wanted to do that?
Of course, the Democrats don't want to do that. That's their
okay.
staple. That's what they
Okay,
want
well,
everybody
that's.
to think.
Oh, say it again.
He said that's what they want everybody to be, as though that's a bad thing for people.
No, that's what they know. You guys are.
Who did you vote? Okay, you've just pointed out there are some differences. You've conceded. Who did you vote for in 2024 in Michigan?
In Michigan, government election.
Who did you vote for president?
You don't know.
Who did you vote for president?
All right, listen. No, I voted for Trump. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
I voted for
exactly.
my
And so you didn't vote third party. You didn't not vote at all. You went to your voting booth and you voted for Trump. So yeah.
Can I ask them? Do you support Project 2025? Have you read Republic? Because you said you think that people should be informed. Project 2025 is the platform of the Republican Party. Did you read Project 2025 before the election? And even if you had not read it, have you been following the legislative moves and executive moves of this administration that align with Project 2025? Do you approve of Project 2025?
I do.
Okay. And you think Project 2025 is in your best interest. So do you make over $500,000 in your household?
You're not going to let me say what I was saying. I did not call to be ridiculed by your questions. I called to tell y'all.
Nobody's ridiculing you. We're asking you because you made it. See, this is your first time calling in, Buck, and you waited an hour. You waited over an hour to get on these airwaves. And so one thing that is always frustrating is when people try to act like all things are the same. We have to have discretion. We have to know history. We have to have facts and data in front of us. This is just important, right? I don't know. Maybe you have a really privileged, great life.
Well, that's what I was trying to ask him, because he said it's in his best interest. So, well, I have to figure out if it is in your best interest or not. But
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you
So
know
I
better. I guess you know you do you.
and we're not cursing at you. You feel like you're being ridiculed. Maybe you're a little bit sensitive on this. Maybe you're a hit dog that's hollering. But no, I mean, I feel like there's a clear difference. Democrats are not perfect, but the
No,
Republican Party is telling you in their face what they want to do. They're bucking due process. Your name is Buck. They want to overturn. They want to rewrite the 14th Amendment via executive order.
true.
I mean, that's if you're somebody who believes in the Constitution and all these things, that should be outrageous to you. So it's not a matter of attacking you. It's that you're saying that here is the issue with these two parties, yet you admit to voting for Donald Trump, who pardoned January 6th insurrectionists.
Who has
I mean,
deployed active duty Marines to a Los Angeles city? Oh,
yeah. So
yeah.
it's perplexing to me. So the very system that you claim, is it's ruining voters. You are a part of the system and you voted for it. So, but I'm a nice guy, Buck. Final comment. Since you waited a long hour to say that.
Uh, well, thank you so much. What I was really just trying to say, I'm gonna make it real brief. It's very detrimental when we don't hear both sides and make our own educated decision. Both sides fight each other. Don't want you to hear the other side. A very educated voter out there. Y'all listen to both sides. You make sure that you vote for what your interests
Sure.
are is.
And
Don't
what and
vote
what
for
and what
black.
side
Don't
and
vote
what
for
side of what side of Kamala Harris did you not like? That made you say, you know what? I've made an educated guess. I've heard the Trump side. I've heard the Kamala Harris side, the Harris Wall side. What side made you say, nope, I can't be on that side? Give me an example.
okay. Pro-abortion, pro
Well,
taking guns away or limiting guns,
she
pro
wasn't going to take guns away.
LGBTQ over everything. Listen, pro
I was waiting
LGBTQ.
for it, brother. Pro
I'm trying to
LGBT. I
tell
was
you, man.
waiting for it.
What
And
else?
Kamala
What else?
Harris
Wait, what
supported.
else? He got more. He
What
got
else?
more. What
Keep
else?
keep on
Okay, I
going. The
got
greatest
more. I
hits.
got a lot more. I got a lot more.
Yeah.
Pro
Give me some
Israel.
Pro
pro
Israel.
Israel.
Donald Trump just was saying
Yeah.
today that
I'm not,
that Netanyahu is a great warrior and he bombed Iran following my. Okay, you're unserious. You're unserious. Okay, but it was fun. It was fun playing this game with you.
We knew that it was coming. We
He
knew
said
that it was coming.
LGBTQ, so I didn't say trans specifically. Man, we should have let him cook a little longer, but he
Okay,
didn't.
hold on, Stephanie. Let him cook a little bit longer. Tell me, because you're
all
not
right,
bringing up anything
look.
about the economy, nothing about your kitchen table, right? So keep on. Tell me all the things that you did. Keep on going, brother.
Hey, regulations. I'm a truck driver. I hate regulations. The fuel prices. I want Donald Trump to make my fuel prices low. I need the diesel to be low.
And he
You know,
hasn't made your fuel prices lower. And if you're a truck
whatever.
driver, if you're a truck driver, I'm sure you know that Donald Trump's tax bill put a cap on your deductions. That really impacted truck drivers.
And there was
So I
record
mean,
oil drilling under Biden, but okay.
yeah,
Let
yeah, yeah,
people
yeah.
talk.
It, it's
Y'all don't let
it's
people
it's
talk, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. I thought this was
Te-
a talk show that
we've been
can
on the
talk.
phone with
So
you for 8 minutes. This is not the
I'm trying.
Buck
Y'all
from
been
from
doing
from
all
from Michigan show. It's not the Buck from Michigan show. So we're just trying to get some context. But you sound a little bit of hot. This is your first time calling. So you waited an hour.
Let's talk about Republicans' policies. I not just say what the Senate Republicans were doing? See, the thing about it is we do talk about what both sides do.
Oh, hold on. Buck called Lurie's program earlier today. Buck,
Oh,
brother,
okay.
you have a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, he
Buck has a
on the
lot of
road
time to be on
again,
Urban View.
on
Say
the
it again.
road again. He's on the road
And Buck's
again.
still on hold, but Buck ain't going nowhere. He's still on hold. I wonder how long we can leave you on hold, Buck, to see how long you'll wait. That was over an hour, and you called into Lurie's show? Wow.
Here's what's inconvenient for people. This, and to be fair, this is not just a MAGA thing.
Oh,
People
no.
don't want to talk. They don't want to talk facts, data, evidence. They don't want to talk policy. They don't want to talk voting records. All they want to talk about is rhetoric. That's it. That's it.
Right.
When you actually detail out specific policies, legislation, executive actions, voting records, then all of a sudden it's all, you being this other. No, 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 no. We asked you substantive questions because to say that two diametrically opposite on nearly every policy political parties are the same, there's a mountain of evidence to the contrary. Do both
Can we
parties
also point out,
have,
Reese?
yeah, go
Can
ahead.
we also point out, as far as him saying that, Democrats and Republicans don't allow each other to hear each other? Donald Trump is the one who did not participate in one Republican primary debate.
That's true.
Donald Trump is the one who only debated Kamala Harris once,
One
which
time
I've
got
never
his
seen in my
ass
lifetime.
mollywopped. Yes.
I've never seen that in my lifetime. So you would think if this is the party that wants people to hear each other, Kamala Harris said, let's go again. So, but,
Donald Trump
I guess
also declined to do 60 Minutes in a number of interviews that Kamala
right,
Harris did. And then he turned around and sued CBS because Kamala Harris did the interview. So it's very
right.
unserious. I think the fact of the matter is that people who want to hold that view is usually like, so both parties are the same, but you voted for Donald Trump. So they can't be that much the same. Okay. But let's talk policies. Let's not talk feelings. Not talk about opinions. Let's talk about the facts. That's what we do here on Urban View. Welcome. This is your first time listening. Welcome to where we talk policy, data, and evidence. Clay just talked about the impact of gay marriage on the economy. I just talked about the impact of the Senate bill on food security, on housing, on Donald Trump's bill, budget on homelessness, and this bill that the big beautiful bill that's gonna kick 16 million people off their insurance minimum. So this is where you come to have a discussion that's not based on feelings. We'll talk about feelings, but is evidence and data driven and connecting the dots to people who don't understand what's at stake. Whether we're talking about Republican policies or whether we're talking about Democratic policies, there we have evidence, fact-based conversations over here. Okay, welcome.
And something tells me that Buck doesn't have to worry about abortion. I could be wrong, but something tells me that that's not an issue he has to really worry about.
And mind you, to say that when a black woman was kept
In Georgia.
alive on life support. Ooh, I got a fly flying over me. A black woman was kept alive on life support because she was essentially pronounced brain dead when her fetus was 8 weeks old, and she was kept alive for months to have her baby that then grew ripped out of her basically dead body, who's at 1 pound. And you think that the abortion laws are beneficial to Black people when Black women have disproportionate rates of miscarriage, and the most miscarriages after a certain point result in a D&C, which is an abortion procedure, where the criminalization of abortion means criminalization of Black women, including Black women who had miscarriages, like the Black woman in, I forget which state now, I want to say Ohio, who had an abortion. I mean, sorry, had a miscarriage on her toilet and was then prosecuted for having a miscarriage. So every single policy that you supposedly are pro Republican for, because that's supposed to be better for Black people, I can name a specific circumstance. I can name data and evidence and statistics that says otherwise about those Republican policies.
Let's go to a call here. Let's go over to, wow, an hour. Jesus, that's a long time to wait. My goodness. Let's go over to, where are we? Mike, Maryland, first time caller. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Clay?
Hey, what's going on?
I don't have a specific comment. I just want to say thank you for the master class that you give us every day. And I'm just concerned with where we are. If we have people like Buck in the world, we're in trouble. We are seriously in trouble.
Well, I think there's more of us than him. Hopefully, hopefully, and if there, hopefully, there's more of us who will vote the next time if we're able to. I appreciate you, Mike. Thank you. Let's go over to where are we? Let's go to Rob, South Carolina, first time caller. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Clay. I just want to say I read your book, The Grift, and it was truly amazing, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you, brother.
And Reecie, I love you so much. You are the
Thank
reason why
you.
I can cuss in sentences now. I can cuss in sentences now because of you.
I
Thank
love
So
that.
you.
continue doing what you're doing. I just want to just throw this out here. I'm just going to say this for the record. My thought process is the reason why I think Buck voted for the orange convicted felon, aka rapist, is because of the fact that he
Well,
did not want a
let
black
me be
woman.
clear. Let me be clear. Just to be clear, he wasn't found guilty of rape. He was found guilty of sexual assault in a civilian court. Just got to be clear about that. Go ahead, brother.
Liable for that. I
Liable. I'm sorry.
apologize.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for
Correction.
correcting me.
Correction. He was found liable of sexual assault in a civilian court. There we go. There we go. Go
There you
ahead.
go. There you go. You got
Thank
it.
you for correcting me on that. But yeah, we want to
All
make
good.
sure it's right for the record. I got you. My apologies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, let's just call a spade a spade. The reason why is because they did not want a black woman in office. That's all it is. We can just call a spade a spade. It's
Hmm.
a black, they didn't want a black woman. I will tell you that I supported Vice President Harris because when she was in the administration, in the Biden administration, they actually did a lot of things that personally benefited my life. One of the
Hmm.
things was that the SAVE program, my student loans
Mm.
went from like $500 down to like $65. I was
Yeah.
Wow.
able to set money aside to
Mm.
help my family. One of the Medicaid, one of the things that he did that where he was able to negotiate the Medicare, was able to negotiate two of my mother's medications that she's on.
Mm.
I was able
Hmm.
to
Mm.
get that reduced in half.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I was able to start setting money aside to,
Mm.
to invest. And with this jackass in the Oval Office, I've lost almost $10,000 in my 401k when he was playing with the
Mm.
markets. And
Mm.
so I don't understand why I'm in the find out phases and I voted the correct way. That's just
Right.
me.
Right.
Right.
But so my point is, I'm just throwing this out here, is that, I get sick and tired of people saying, "Where's VP Harris? Where's VP Harris? Where's VP Harris?" She's at home where y'all
Right.
told her to be. She needs to be at home with her
Right.
family. So stop looking for her to save you because she can't save you. You got to get up and save yourself at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
That's just where I'm at in my journey.
Ah, thank you,
So
Rob. We have to go to a break, Rob, but brother, I appreciate you. I thank you for your call, and like I said, I think we have more Robs out there than the other guy. So yeah,
Can
I
I just say
appreciate
one
that.
quick thing, Clay, before we go to break?
Sure.
Because the
Mhm.
student loan repayment part is a big part of this big, beautiful bill, where they are trying to eliminate the student loan repayment options that Biden Harris put forward. They want fewer repayment plans, larger bills. So there were all these provisions to try to limit the amount of your after tax or of your income, cap that your income, and then eventually forgive that, and to make sure that your principal wasn't increasing despite the fact that your payments were at a certain threshold. That stuff is going away with this Republican bill. And so, like I said, every aspect of the way that the federal government has in the past intervened to try to lift the burden off of people, that shit's all going away. It's all going away. And it's going away 100% because the Republicans have a Republican trifecta now. That's it. That's the only reason why it's going away.
Reese, you want to stay on and talk to the folks on YouTube for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, before we do that, before we head to a break, listen to this, y'all.
From the New York Times best-selling author of The Grift, Clay Kane returns with a novel that takes historical fiction to a new level. Inspired by true stories from the 19th century American South, their voices became the fire. The new novel by Clay Kane, Burn Down Master's House. Pre-order now. Burn it down.
I love that promo. Y'all go out and get Clay Kane's future New York Times bestseller. Okay. Y'all see me struggling with this fly. Hey, y'all, let's see. So many people. Okay, Jordy always one of the first on. Hey, girl. So many people, so many people. I don't want to get into names because then I ain't gonna be able to get everybody. Let's see. I thought it was interesting though. Ernie says y'all are curiously down on progressives. What happened to home bro getting mollywopped by Cuomo? No. I just want to be clear. I don't have a problem with progressive policy. I don't have actually much of the policy that I support and the people that I support are progressive on policy. The problem is that people who are progressive are mislabeled being moderate because they don't match the rhetoric or they're not one of the good ones as the progressive, I would say, social media class likes to label people. Okay. Okay, let's see. Flea Bite Girl says, can't wait to see you in Houston again. Yes, can't wait to come to Houston. Um, let's see. Molly whopped is what Clay said about Cuomo's opponent in the NY primary. Well, he lost by 20. He lost black voters by 20, but he did close the gap. He was at 50 something points down. He closed it to 20. I think that's great. Obviously, he had a lot of black surrogates who did great work. I shouted some of them out. So yes. Hey, Kim. Let's see. Yes, C-SPAN need to invite me back. Okay. Rayford, we're working on Maryland. Maryland, you know how people are out here though. Chill. Let's see. Amsterdam, what's up? Nike, what's up? Um, Toya said misogyny. They didn't want the white woman either, though. That's right. That's true. Let's see. What else y'all got? I'm trying to scroll back up and see some stuff. Clay gonna pop up any second, y'all. Don't forget to get my game and my trip in if you don't have it already. Let's see. All right. Clay's back. So I will talk to y'all later.